welcome back to Everything Lynn. I'm Lynn. So you've clicked on the thumbnail, you understand the topic of this video, let's dive right in. We can all come to the understanding that making friends in our childhood seemed so much easier than it is now as adults. Why is that? So when we were kids, we grew up around people who we began to know and really like. We were around these people 8 hours of every day. Also, generally, if you were in the same school, like you followed these different people, these different personalities throughout several different grades throughout your growing up. So you could come to an understanding that you would always be around them, so you might as well get along with them, you might as well get to know them. And it was a more simplified way of doing it because like you just had to. And it wasn't weird when you were kids to say, hey, let's hang out or anything like that because you were around them all the time. Like there was almost no effort to be put in to developing these relationships. So you get to high school and you get to your 12th grade or whatever, and graduation day is coming up. You think you are going to have these people in your life as it has been for the remainder of your life. It doesn't yet set in that once you cross that threshold and you turn that tassel from this side to this side, that these people are just no longer going to be as integral in your life as they were before. It's not until the summer of after high school graduation or even sometime passing after that that you realize, oh my gosh, I am going to lose touch with a lot of these people, with like 99% of these people, unless they were like your absolute best friends from like elementary on. Chances are you've lost touch with them. So you've entered the workforce and you're an adult and you start feeling, besides the work life filling up a lot of your social life, you start feeling like I'm really lonely and I don't have many people that I can turn to, like especially if you've moved out of your hometown and you are not as able to be connected with your childhood friends as you were before, like myself. I live 630 some odd miles from a lot of my childhood friends or my two best friends that I grew up with. And in doing so and being so far away, I do feel like, or have felt as an adult, very lonely. And if you'll see on platforms like TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, a lot of adults now were like, how do we make friends now that I'm an adult? Like, it's so obvious. I'd love to go clubbing. I'd love to go out for a drink. I'd love to just do like hiking, swimming. I want to go over to my friend's house and watch Netflix and like not feel any type of ways about it. Feel no stress. I want to just be able to even sit silently and comfortably around people like I used to be able to when I was a kid. Like, it was nothing then. How come it's so hard now? Well, it's really hard now. For one thing that I can see that I've observed is in growing up and around technology, we've become like a loner type generations of people, where it's just easy to, instead of take that leap of faith and like talk to a stranger and get to know them, and like if we're out in public, I see we're all, instead, like, God forbid we look weird sitting by ourselves or strike up a conversation with a stranger like I saw my parents would do when I was growing up, or even I do sometimes. Instead of striking up a conversation with someone, we decide, oh, I'd rather not bother them. They might seem bothered. I might come off weird. We whip out our phones and we're like, I have to look like I'm busy so that, I don't look weird. But in doing that all the time, like, we're missing out on opportune key points or key times in our lives where people used to use that, like, moment of silence by themselves or around other people to strike up a conversation. Instead of doing that, we're not using it and we're just on our phone, like, burying our heads in our phones all the time. So that's one way that it's become difficult to make friends as an adult. Another thing that I've seen is, again, with pairing the anxiety of taking up too much space in somebody's life, we start thinking for other people before we even give them a chance to decide whether or not they would like to hang out with us, we automatically think, like, why would they want to hang out with us? I'm sure they've got better things to do. I may be coming off as like too needy or too anxious. And we're just also afraid of looking like we would need somebody or that we want somebody to be in our lives. That's another thing that I'm noticing with this generation and the generation after us. We're just too scared. Like, I guess it's just uncool to look like we would actually want to be friends with somebody, which is really, really strange. Unfortunately, though, like, it's true, because sometimes when you put yourself out there, you could almost see somebody like devalue you, which is the weirdest thing. Like, you could almost see in their head that they're like, oh, this person thinks I'm cool. And then you could almost see the wheels turning, like, well, I'm gonna flake this person because their time must not be as valuable if they're so willing to give it away. And so, like, you could almost see them just not take you seriously, or not respect you as much for going out on the limb. So I don't know why we've done this to ourselves. Like, it's so unfair, because we are truly missing out on like good opportunities to like get to know people, because we're too cool, they're too cool, and then we wind up like, what we're just all lonely, like just lonely adults. So it's just like, so I can understand why we've come to the place that we have as adults, where we're like, look, like, I'm lonely, I'm so alone, I'm a cool person, I just want to share my life with people, I want them to share my life with I want them to share their lives with me, but I don't have the first idea of how. Like, I keep reaching out to people, maybe invites they don't happen. Next thing, I see them on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and they've had like this humongous party and I never get invited, or things like that. So one thing that I do that has helped me a little bit, I've sought out and joined different Facebook groups. I know Facebook, right? Like, who uses Facebook anymore? But it has its good points, where you can seek out different Facebook groups and join them. And like for me, I joined one that were like for prior military, or women who still are in the military. And so we'll like post in there and say, hey, I'm going to this event on this day, and then like post a little poster or whatever, and send out the invite and say, hey, would you guys like to come, or who else would like to come, let me know, and I'll see you there. And we'll exchange numbers that way. We wound up doing that, and there were like a table of like 20 of us, just like baddies all over the place, right? Like, we drew so much attention to us. And that night we got to get to know each other. It was so fun. There was laughs, there was drinks, and then in doing that, we kind of got to pair off in our own separate little things, like realizing who I vibe with more and who I might, want to actually continue a friendship with. And we all kind of paired off in our own little posses, I guess, girl groups. And I still meet up with about 5 of those girls to this day. And so that's pretty cool. So that's one way I'd suggest to find new friends as an adult, is join groups and then go to the events. Another way that I'd suggest, going back to the fact that we are so afraid of like putting ourselves out there, is to put ourselves out there. You can't make friends if you're just going to be in your house all day, like on Netflix or on Hulu or on TikTok, feeling lonely. You have to get out there and put your phone away when you're out there. Look around, like, be aware of your surroundings. Don't be afraid to strike up the conversations with somebody sitting next to you. Obviously, you don't have to become their forever friend with people who you just have like a random conversation with, but it'll put you in practice with talking to people and making connections and networking. And in doing so, you may find like-minded people who you can trade contact information with, and then eventually invite them out for the things that you'd like to do, or ask them what they like to do, or receive invites from them. So in this way, we can make friends. The biggest takeaway for making friends as an adult is that you have to put in the effort for it. Again, as kids, it was almost effortless because you had these people around you day in and day out, 8 hours a day, and you just knew it. Like, obviously, you'd make friends. You had to talk to them, right? But as an adult, it's not as effortless. So you have to put in the effort. As with most things, as an adult, it's on you, you know. So put in the effort. Look friendly. Look, you know, like take care of your take care of how you approach people. Be open-minded. Don't be so judgmental of people right away. I don't know. I guess just put in the effort. Put your best face forward. Be brave, and that's the best advice that I can give to you. There are awesome people out there. Understand that they might not have all the time in the world for you all the time, and then just don't put so much weight on it. We're all just going through this together. If anything, just the most you can do is try. I'm wishing you guys the best of luck out there in making friends. It's not the easiest thing, but it's doable. If you can make one or two really good ones that you can be vulnerable with, like, and realize that you can trust them and stuff like that, then you made it. Because it's not going to be about the quantity of friends that you have, but the quality that you have, and that may equate to like one or two good ones. Like I said, wishing you guys the best of luck, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.